Some time ago I made a video where I said I am not gonna make a fun of Dr. Stone with episodic impressions because it's just a dumb shonen that the audience is not meant to take seriously. As long as nobody makes it seem like it's smarter than what it is, then I will leave it alone. And then this happened.
While other cartoons and anime contain scientific themes, the science is mostly bullshit. Meanwhile, Dr. Stone's biggest hook for me is the opposite. As it teaches legitimate real-world science, for some reason Suka can fit her whole body in a melon and roll with it like she's straight out of Super Monkey Ball. Yeah, explain that, science. The science of Dr. Stone explains exactly how we need to execute certain scientific processes. Schools need to show kids this series because of its educational value. Bet you can't explain to me how a teenager managed to megalobox the fuck out of a lion either, can you? The celebration of technology and passion and philosophical questions the anime asks are also aspects I appreciate. For me, I greatly lean towards Senku's side. I'm like 10 billion% sure.
I know what many of you will say, that the guy is not being serious. It still doesn't change the fact that he is using the usual double standards of the fanboys for making it seem smart or dumb, depending on if he's talking to another fanboy or a critic. And if you think that is not a big deal, check this topic I made about the bad guy and how nobody should be defending his side of the argument. The show is not smart, it is clearly siding with the good guys and makes the reasoning of the bad guys easy to shut down. And yet there are still people who side with the bad guys because of convoluted mental gymnastics. I wouldn't make a deal out of it if they didn't make a deal out of it. The show is not smart or deep and I was willing to let it be. But when this sort of shit happens, the gloves come off. It's this sort of shit we must not let go unpunished because that is what ruined the community with double standards and pretentious overthinking.
That's so fucked up and so sad. It's so funny, but I know it's fucked up. Like, we all know that's fucked up so much. Like, right there, that is so sad. It's so sad, but it's so funny.
What exactly is so great about Dr. Stone? A hell of a hook. A teenage genius sets out to save the rest of humanity and use his vast scientific knowledge to build up his own kingdom of science. For escapist fantasies, this series sets itself apart from your standard Shonen Jump fare by taking its focus away from the fighting.
Which have never been seen before. It's like nothing we've ever seen before.
My Hero Academia isn't a series all about action. It's about a good story. It doesn't need action.
Solid writing carries a lot of that weight. Everything that Senku does is based in practical real-world science. It's just inherently interesting to see how he's performing near miracles. It's almost the stuff of fantasy. This video is sponsored by Crunchyroll. With his brains, it really works, aims to educate its viewers about the wonders of science, at least in theory. In contrast to your standard idealistic shonen hero, Senku is more of a cackling mad scientist type.
I am mad scientist. It's so cool. Son of a bitch.
He's a schemer, a bit of a sleazebag, and more than a little arrogant about his intellect. He still helps people because that's the easiest way to get them to do what he wants. So we as an audience get to enjoy watching a character enact kind of villainous plots and manipulate people without the moral guilt of rooting for an actual monster. Dr. Stone conveys a really powerful and positive humanist message. And there are plenty more characters to fill any other niche that you might be hoping for the most part crazy horny. Kinda has to rely on tropes to give that many people distinct, appealing personalities, a unique three-dimensional human being. Senku's ultimate goal is to rebuild civilization from scratch the same way we did it the first time. Dr. Stone accelerates that timeline by a little bit. This video was brought to you by Crunchyroll. Those are the reasons I like Dr. Stone.
It took a while for people to take notice of it, but eventually it happened. Dr. Stone, and by extension all civilization-building anime, don't have tension. Everything in them is too easy and makes them almost like feel-good anime. The number one excuse everyone is using whenever people are bored is how not every episode has to be about action. You know what I mean. A fighting shonen like My Hero Academia doesn't need action in every episode, although the action is the main reason everybody is watching it for. Watching them fooling around in school activities is all you need. And it still had drama at points, so it's not completely feel-good. Well, a variation of that is saying not every episode needs people being brutally murdered, even if that goes against the core theme of the show, which is showing how brutal life can be without science, and therefore needing science, so it won't be that brutal. Without having any stakes, there is nothing to risk or no clear indication as to why technology is that much of a big deal. The show is so lazily written that it has problems even on the other side of the spectrum, when they proclaim they will win a war without killing anyone and by using weapons that are only making it easier to kill someone. The whole thing reeks of hypocrisy. Technology can be just as devastating as it is helpful, and yet it doesn't show anywhere. They treat it as a joke. Although the first season wasn't exactly thrilling either, at least there were moments when Senku would be failing numerous times, or when he would need to spend months on something before there is progress. It was enough for giving a sense of struggle and how nothing is easily achieved. The second season doesn't do that anymore. Senku does everything right and very fast, thus nothing is at stake. Like the comment here mentions, it's no longer like Castaway and became more like Gilligan's Island. And no, you cannot say it was like Gilligan's Island right from the start and that people were watching it wrong. It was very different at first because Senku wasn't the main character. It was that generic friend of his who didn't know shit about science. During the episodes when he was the protagonist, the show was way more action survival. Then it changed to the lol science it is now. Another excuse many are using when they can't deny how tensionless the whole thing is simply calling it a breath of fresh air. There are lots of series that have a lot of violence, so something like Dr. Stone makes it stand out. See guys, it's not bad, it's different, and that makes it good. Which is not much of an excuse when you can just as easily say K-On! Is a breath of fresh air because it doesn't have the violence of Berserk. And it sure as hell is not that different from any other civilization-building anime. Was there ever any tension in the Slime Isekai? Was there any in Overlord or Log Horizon or No Game No Life? None of them have the stakes they are supposed to have. So no, Dr. Stone is not even a breath of fresh air. The third excuse is one you can almost accept. It's not supposed to be a serious anime, it's supposed to be a comedy that shows the beauty of science. You shouldn't expect something other than that. Anyone could get behind this reasoning if he doesn't think about the show much, because if he does, then it's a bullshit excuse. The story is full of situations where it seems like someone is going to die, or that things are very grim, only to be proven to be fake tension because Senku is solving everything too easily. You cannot take it lightly when the show itself doesn't want you to take it lightly. Which is why a lot of people wish the story was never about some war that can't be taken seriously because they can't kill anyone and nobody can ever die. What's the point of having fake tension instead of just being prehistoric K-On! If you're not willing to commit to a bloody conflict, then cut the bullshit Stone Wars and don't even bother having a conflict. Although even if it did that, it would still be problematic, since the characters are to the most part mouthpieces for exposition of the technology than actual people with depth or much of a personality. Ultimately, the real appeal of the show, as well as of Slime and Overlord and Log Horizon and No Game No Life, is the video game skill tree, which is very appealing to gamers who fancy the game mechanic of combining items and creating new skills. The civilization building aspect of this anime is a dumb game that has nothing realistic about it. The characters are shallow, the conflict is non-existent, science comes down to a video game, and the fake tension is only making them more pretentious.